Carol Robb with Lapbookingforchrist.com, and I'm here today to show you some different folds that you can teach your children so that when you start lapbooking, they can make these folds and use them in their lapbooks. They're relatively easy, most of them. The first one that we'll start with is what I call a book fold. You just take your piece of paper, fold it in half, and it looks like a book. Very easy. Take a piece of paper, fold it in half, it looks like a book. Another one that I make, another same kind of piece of paper, you take that and you fold it this way instead, and now you have a long and thin fold, which I call the pencil fold. And that is, so if you tell your children fold it like a pencil fold and you've taught them these folds, they'll know exactly what to do and how to fold it. There's another kind called the shutter fold. This one I use a lot in my lap books. They can put pictures on the front here and then open it up for information. This is called the shutter fold. A fourth one is called, I call it the brochure. It's like a travel brochure. So what you do is you have it tri-folded like this, fold it in and then fold this one in. And if you're studying countries, you can have them do some information just like a travel brochure. And you would have the picture of where they're going to travel to, the country you're going to travel to. Inside, they might write why you should go to that country, and you can tell some great things about that country. So that's an idea called the travel brochure. Another one is the question and answer book. And to make the question and answer book, you take an 8.5 by 11 or any size that you're going to use. You fold it in half. So now you've told them make a book fold. So they folded the book fold. Then you fold it again. This time, it's like a pencil fold. So you can fold this. Now, you're going to open it up. You tell them, open up your piece of paper, and this time you're going to make a big pencil fold. So this is a larger, long, and thin pencil fold. Now, one of the reasons why I do this is because then they have lines where the fold lines are, and I know you probably can't see it on the camera, but they have lines that they can cut. And so what they're going to do is they're going to take their scissors, and I always recommend you use a good pair of scissors for the kids so that they can have an easier time of cutting. And I'm going to just cut right along that line, and so they have a guide with this line. I'm going to cut the next one, so they're going to make 3 cuts. Now tell them just stop in the middle. Don't go all the way across. You don't want them to keep cutting all the way across. You just want to stop in the middle. So this is the third line that we folded and made. And now we have a question and answer book. So here these open up. So you can write a question here and they can write their answer inside. You could also put a picture here and they could write information. So if you're studying about frogs, you would have a picture of a kind of frog, and then you would give all the information about it inside. So this is your question and answer book. You can do a lot of different things with this. You can actually fold it down like an accordion fold, and you would put this onto your lap book, and then it will fold up. And kids like that. They think that's really cool. So that's a very good fold. The last fold that I'm going to talk about is the layered book fold. And this one, you take your 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, fold it into a book fold, and then you fold it again, like we did before, into a pencil fold. We open it back up, and this time I'm going to go ahead and cut all along those folds, and I'm going to cut the whole thing out. So all the way, not like your question and answer where you stopped halfway. This time you have them cut all the way along the line. So you're going to end up with 4 pieces of very thin paper, and you can do this with as many pieces as you want, but we're just going to do the 4, and your kids will have it pretty easy to run along that line with their scissors. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take one of the pieces of paper, put the other one on top of it. Now you may not be able to see it, but I'm leaving about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch at the bottom and sticking it up at the top. I'm going to take my next piece of paper, and again I'm going to put it about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch, so now it's sticking up at the top, and then again this one. Now when I hold it like that, I take it and I fold it over, and now I have what I call a layered book. And you would take and either staple it right at the top, or you can also open it up on in the inside and staple it right here, which that's what I like to do. Let me see if I can do that. So I'm just going to staple this right in the center. Hopefully you can see. All right. And now I have what's called a layered book. And this is a great book. Lots of ways to do things with this. You can do vocabulary words, and then they can write the vocabulary word, and then underneath they can write the definition. I like to use it. Sometimes I did a thing about the life cycle of a frog, and so I had, this was the first thing that happened, the second thing, the third thing, and then it would have the title here, lifted up, and then it would have a picture and some information about that. So each of these, go ahead and lift up, and you can do tons of stuff with this layered book. This is a really neat book. The kids love to do this in their lap book. So, these are just a few of the folds that you can do, but I recommend that you teach them to your child. You actually just do a whole session of teaching folds, and you can get lots of different paper, and they have a lot of fun doing it. They can draw pictures on them, and you will use these folds in your lap books. Thanks for watching. This is Carol Robb with LapBookingForChrist.com.